that. All right. So welcome to the call for tonight. We're going to be talking about how to invite like a rock star. And we have some people that are going through a little sneak peek training right now, and they are recruiting like rock stars and inviting left and right. And we really want to show, how you can do that in your whole team.
Oh, I got it.
Being able to duplicate it.
I got it.
And so I'm going to go ahead and flip over to our slides. Mom, I won't be able to see the screen, so if you'll just mute anybody if they can't find it.
Yes, dear.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, can y'all see my screen now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So here's the beginning of our slides. So inviting, why we need to do it, how we're going to do it, and then what we're going to do after. Let's see if I can scoot it over. Okay. And see, I can't even get them to go full screen. Sorry. The question is never where to find people. We get asked all the time, like, where do you find your coaches? How do you do this? And all those kinds of questions. And it's not really about where you're going to find these people. You're surrounded by people every single day. We're surrounded by people. The worst coach in the whole Beachbody system is surrounded by people. And the top coach is the same way. So there's not really why or where do you find these people. It's all about asking yourself if you're willing to talk to them and invite them every day. So it's a matter of just getting out of our own way and just going for it. And there are 3 types of inviting. And since we kind of kept this generic, I wanted to make sure that we touched on all 3. And a lot of the times, everything will relate to itself. So if you get really good at inviting to a free group, that's going to help you with the paid and the coaching. And we kind of set it up like a funnel, because you'll probably have a lot of people interested in your free group because they're going to want something sometimes for nothing. Like you're going to have those type of people. And you're also going to have some really great people that want to join. And this is just a free way to see a little bit more about you and build that trust. So you're going to have a lot of people at the top right here and top of the part of the funnel. And then as you go through the free, you'll mention the paid group and you'll start advertising it on your Facebook page. And you'll start private messaging people about your paid challenge group or your premium challenge group. And you're going to have some people that were in your free kind of like jump ship here. And that's totally okay. It's not their time to join. It's not, something they can do right now on their budget or whatever. Totally okay. We're going to drop down to this paid group. And then from that paid group comes the last part of inviting, which is inviting them to coach. And I know mom's noticed it. I've noticed it. Anytime you host a challenge group, there's always somebody that's just an absolute rock star in that group. And those are the people that we invite to coach. And it doesn't just have to be those rock stars. You might know somebody right now that would just be an amazing coach. It's as simple as saying, hey, have you ever thought about coaching? I think you'd be amazing at it, because they don't have to go through this whole system. So you can follow this funnel where it goes straight down, or you can plug them in as an invite anywhere in this process. Jump in at any point.
I'm sorry. I'm taking care of muting. Since I'm not the host, I can't mute. So private messaging people.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
So the next part is you're scared. And this is something that we've talked about in our 21-day internship, like several days now. And I know if they're scared, a lot of us are probably scared. And we were scared when we first started. It was like, just overwhelming to think about like talking to somebody and really finding that value in ourselves. So it's totally normal to be scared. And we're going to go over some steps that you can take to, get a little more courage and get a little more brave and start inviting people and fight that fear that you have. So the very first thing is to believe. And this means to believe in yourself and to believe in the value of what you're doing. You started working out for a reason. Maybe it was to, feel better in a dress, or to have more time with your kids, like later on in life. Whatever it was, you started working out for a reason. And you saw an investment. You saw that value. And you took it. You're a smart person. You took it. And then you signed up to coach. You saw value in signing up to coach. You saw what it was going to do to help people, what it could do for your own life, how it was going to help you reach all of these goals. So you signed up for a reason, and you're a smart person. You have all kinds of stuff on your plate, and you still made this commitment. So take that into consideration. If you are willing to do all this, somebody else is willing to do this too, and they're going to see the same value in it that you did. So believe in that and trust yourself and that you did those steps. And then you're going to have to trust that it's going to work for you. So even if you're just getting started, maybe you aren't seeing it pay off yet. Maybe you're planting all of these seeds, you're talking to a lot of people, and they're not coming back quite yet. You're going to have to just take that leap of faith and that trust that it's going to work for you. Because people want to find somebody that's going to be confident in what they're doing. Nobody's going to want to work with somebody that's kind of scared and timid to approach. They're going to want to know this is going to work. They're going to want their upline to really believe in what they're talking about. So we have to make sure that we believe in order to fight that fear and to really be successful in inviting. So that's the very first step. The second step is inviting is really the number one thing that you can do for your business. And just knowing that makes a big difference, because you can put it off. You can do your workout first. You can do personal development first. You could, check your email 20 times instead of actually inviting, because it's the scary part. And this is something that we struggled with. We would do everything else before we would invite. And really, it's the number one thing that's going to help more people. So if you're not in it for the money, that's not really what drives you. Well, if you're not inviting, you're not helping a lot of people. You have to invite to be able to help them. Inviting also gives you more flexibility. This was something that I can tell you, and Mom can tell you over and over again. It's crazy how flexible and inflexible you can be as a coach. It's like two ends of the spectrum. If you are inviting people to coach, it's like running a business, because you're going to have a team of amazing coaches that they can come to you if they need you. And you can also go, hey, I'm sick. Mom has a kidney stone. Can you please just check this, message? Can you help me out this, today? I'll give you a coach app or whatever. It's like running a business. You have somebody to lean on, and they have somebody to lean on as well. Now, if you're in this all by yourself and you're relying just on retail, you are self-employed. You are having to work your butt off every single day. You're not seeing the momentum build. You are just in the trenches every day, and you're not going to get very far. So building a team and inviting is going to give you more flexibility. It's also going to allow you to go on trips. And this is for 3 reasons. 1, you have a flexible schedule now. Now you have somebody to rely on if you're inviting to coach. Second thing is you're going to have an income. You'll be able to actually plan out when you want to go somewhere. And then you can also earn trips with Beachbody. So it's pretty cool. We have Christina and Carla on the cruise right now. Me and Mom have been to Disney. We've been to the cruise. We've been to Cancun. And then this cruise would have been paid for if we didn't get seasick. You can earn trips with Beachbody, and plus you're going to have an income coming in. So it allows you to go on trips and to travel and do things with your family. And then it's also going to help you increase your income quickly, because you're not all by yourself. You're not just, in the trenches every day by yourself. So I want you to think about, what do these things relate to your why? Does one of them hit your why? Are you in it are you a coach because you want to help people? Are you in it to have more time with your family that's going to give you that flexible schedule? Are you, wanting a disposable income so you can save for your kid's wedding or their college, or, maybe you're paying off a student loan? So think about how these things relate to your why. And the next one is to see value in inviting. So if I was to tell you, or Mom was to tell you, or your upline was to tell you, I'm going to give you $500, just in hand, $500 bills, crisp from the bank, for every invite that you do, you would probably find a way. It wouldn't be I'm checking my email 20 times. It would be holy crap, she's giving me $500 to invite. So you would, max out. You could invite 2 people per day. That'd be $1,000. You wouldn't care how you got them. You wouldn't care who it was you were talking to. You probably wouldn't worry about what you were saying. You wouldn't worry about is this going to work out? It was just purely to invite them. You would find a way. You don't care if they sign up. You're just inviting them, letting them know about what you're doing. Then I would give you $500. You would find a way. So figure out what the value is in inviting. How is it going to pay off? No, we're not going to hand you $500 each time you invite somebody, but it can pay off with your income. It can pay off with what your team is doing. It's, that $500, it's just a crazy example, but it really can lead to that. We wanted to show you an example of a few of our friends' incomes. And I can tell you, Mom and I both have made $100,000 the past 2 years. And that has just been from having a really strong team and figuring out how to invite people and really keep growing and helping our team succeed, which is something that, you'll do as you, continue to grow and you keep adding people and inviting them. So here's just a little quick example of Mindy Winder's income and Micah Folson's income. And I don't know if we have to say it or not, but Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success. It's all based on the coach's, effort and, all of that. Like, well, you know that. But this is just an example. Mindy started in 2010. $30,000 would make a huge difference to someone's life. That could be crazy amount for some people. But if you go down to her 2015, where she's been consistent and she's been inviting people to a free group and to her paid group and then to coach, she's now making $1 million a year.
I have to interrupt there, Kaylee.
Yeah.
On Mindy's, she's not only recruiting and inviting people to her free challenge and her pay challenge, she's teaching her team to do the exact same thing. So it's not all on Mindy's shoulders. So that's helped her as well, because as they grow their team, they're growing their income, which helps her grow her income. So it's never a solo effort in team building versus retail. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah. Definitely. And you'll notice this as you grow your team. Like, you'll just see people popping up left and right. Like, our personally sponsored might be 10, but then our whole downline for the week might be 50. And it's because everybody's working together. And the more you can recruit and add and invite, the faster you're going to see these progressions happen for you. Because like she said, everybody's working together. For example, Micah is actually in Mindy's downline. So Micah's income is over here. In 2015, she almost made $500,000. That helped Mindy's income as well, because Mindy helped her coach, Micah's coach, train her and like get her prepared and, mentor her. And that makes a huge difference. And it's not just a fluke. We wanted to show you two more along with Mindy, Micah's, and our $200,000. Here is Tara Bilick. She's now a top coach. She's in the top 10 or top 20.
I think she's probably top 20.
But this was her first year that she coached. Now, her numbers are by month, so keep that in mind. So her first month, she made about $250, and then month 12, she was almost at $2,000. And it wasn't because she was just, hosting free groups or checking her email 20 times or creating a blog or anything like that. It was because she was inviting and she was getting her team excited, and they were inviting and, working it all out and brainstorming and pairing up and working all inside the team. And that's what makes a huge difference. And that's where, inviting kind of gets magical, because you see all this momentum build. You'll also see Brittany Leggetti's income progression on this side. And just, it kind of shows you how fast it can build. And Mom, do you want to talk about how it kind of doubles or triples and all that?
Sorry, I'm lost on what you're wanting me to go for here. I just know that for us, and as you look at Brittany's and Tara's, Brittany's not part of a Team Go-Getter, but Tara is and Micah is. But as they grew their teams, their income grew, and it kind of snowballed, as you can see by Brittany's and Tara's income through the years. And the same thing happened with Mindy, since they were all part of the same team. When theirs snowballed and increased by month, so did Mindy's. So it's staying consistent, and that whole snowball that we talk about, building your momentum. Once you get it rolling and you teach your team to do the same thing, everybody's income will grow.
Yep. So that was exactly what I was going for. Just the fact that, when you start, you might have 5 coaches, and then, by the next year, you might have 20 coaches that are really working it and really caring. And then, that third year, you might have 25 or 30 or 40 that are really working it and caring. And so that's why it can keep jumping up, because they're going to be working their business as hard as you're working your business.
Yeah. It's while she's switching slides, it's kind of fun to watch. I know some of you are brand new, so you have no clue, but when you get to be emerald and a diamond, more so a diamond, you can click on your commissions and then click on matching team bonus. Because at ruby and diamonds, when you make a matching team bonus, you can see how your team has done through the week. I don't know, Kaylee made $14, so you know that she cycled once. So it's fun to watch her make that $14 one week, and then 3 weeks from now, she'll have capped out as an emerald at $250 for the week. So it's kind of cool to watch your team do that.
Yeah, it's really cool. So our next slide is mom's like absolute jam. So I'm going to let her talk about this, but know how to plant your seeds.
Oh, well, this isn't my jam. I just learned it from Danny Johnson, so therefore I quote it very often. But if you listen to enough personal development, I found out that it's not just Danny Johnson. It's biblical, to be quite honest. It goes back as far as the Bible. You reap what you sow, meaning you have to plant many seeds in order to get a harvest, meaning you need to ask a lot of people to coach or a lot of people to join your challenge. I'll put it in the metaphor of gardening. You don't plant one seed in one hole and expect to get a harvest for the season out of it. You dig many, many holes, and within each hole you put many, many seeds, and then you don't just leave them, you nurture them. And then as one plant grows, you reap that harvest. And you don't just leave the ground barren then. You dig another hole and you plant some more seeds and you start nurturing. That way you never have just an empty garden. You're constantly planting, you're constantly nourishing, you're constantly plucking fruits. The same thing, it's exactly the same thing with coaching. You're constantly reaching out to new people. You're working with them, you're nurturing them. You're not just sticking with that one plant. You keep on growing. You keep on planting more seeds, because a law of averages, as it's shown here on the slide, for every 10 people you ask, regardless if it's coaching or a paid challenge, for every 10 people you ask, you'll get 1 to 2 to say yes. So you have to plant many, many seeds. You can't just base it off of one person that you're working with. So here's my gardening.
Perfect. And it's so true. And I just think that, you have to remember that 1 or 2 are going to say yes. So be prepared mentally to accept those, 8 or 9 no's. Like, it's not personal. It's nothing against you. The person doesn't hate you. The person doesn't think anything weird about you. Nothing like that. It's just not the right time, or they're super busy and they don't even see the message, or they don't see the text, or whatever it is. So don't worry about messaging those people and worrying about those no's. Like, you can't get those 1 to 2 yeses or those 1 to 2 plants to grow if you're not planting those seeds.
Yeah, if anybody's done enough gardening, and I've done very, very little, but I do know this, even when you plant many, many seeds, you're going to have 1 or 2 plants fell out of your garden, and you can't take it personal. It wasn't like that little green bean plant said, "Ew, I don't like you. I'm not blooming." It's not personal. It's the same thing with people, and you can't be afraid to follow up. I can't tell you how many people, like some of you even, you're like, I had forgotten about it, but Kim followed up with me. You didn't think anything ugly about me. You didn't think that I was trying to twist your arm into coaching. So just remember how you signed up, and if somebody followed up with you, that they really weren't trying to pressure you into it. So don't be afraid for follow-ups.
Yep. Our next slide is all about personal development. And as she mentioned before, we've listened to Danny Johnson. Jim Rohn talks about the whole planting the seeds and the law of averages. So does Eric Worre. 3 books that are really good if you're struggling with inviting. The first one is The Confidence Gap. And it is great if you are like just worried about inviting, just fear it. You don't know how to really get over that hump. Definitely check out The Confidence Gap. The next one is Go for No. So if you're, in the trenches, you're inviting and you just keep hearing no and it's frustrating you, check that book out. And the next one is Go Pro, and it's by Eric Worre. And it is like, if you want to just like come in and crush it, like you're like, I don't care about my fears. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to invite. You can Google him. You can find his video on 20 recruits in 30 days. Like, he is pretty hardcore with his inviting. We usually tend to go a little bit lighter than he does. But if you are wanting to crush it and you're wanting to go that route and just get out there and really have that practice, definitely check out GoPro. And any personal development is going to help. It's just those 3 books have really helped, and they really focus in on practicing inviting. So number 6, leading into it, is to practice. You aren't going to be an expert. You're not going to be a rock star in inviting. There's nothing we could say on this call that's just going to take you from like, oh crap, I suck, to being a rock star in inviting. There's just nothing. How you get there is by practicing. If you were to go back and look at one of ours from 2012, it would make you just like shudder, because we didn't have scripts. We didn't have team calls. We didn't have training. There was nothing really out there. And so having the scripts will kind of give you that boost, but it's just going to take practice figuring out what feels good to you. We give you like 13 scripts on sweatnationtraining.com. And you're going to have to pick and choose. You're going to customize them a little bit. So the more you practice, the better your skills are going to get. Same thing, like, when you got on a bike, you had to learn how to ride the bike. You had to get good at it. When you drove, holy moly, I would hate to have been my mother when I was 16 years old, merging on the interstate. Like, it was just not good. And like the whole green and left, turn. Oh my goodness. I still remember her fussing at me on this like interstate on the way home from school. So you just got to practice. Your skills will get better. And you can even let them know. So you can let them know, like, hey, can I just practice on you? It doesn't matter if you actually sign up. Just, can I practice on you? So one of our favorites is, hey, hey, Kim, how's everything going? I'm going for this big goal this month, and I was wondering if I could share what I do with you for practice. So you take off the pressure right there. I don't know if it would be something you'd love or not, but I would love to know what you think about it. Would you mind me sharing a little bit about it with you? So you kind of open it up. Like, you don't even act like, you want them to sign up. You're just, getting that practice. And then when you show how awesome it is, then they can say like, hey, that sounds like something I want to do.
Plus, it allows you some room to make some mistakes because, you're already saying, I'm going to practice on you. So it takes the pressure off of you. Mm-hmm. And I was going to add on this, like, I know when I first started inviting people to coach or the business opportunity, I was just so worried about getting people to sign up. It was all about me. So you have to, and this is going to take practice, but before you text or before you call or before you email or Facebook message, just take a deep breath and remember that it's not about you. It's about them. How can coaching help them? If you go in with that heart, it works out so much better than, oh, I've got to get a coach. So figure out and listen to how it can help them versus you.
Definitely. And yeah, like, we struggled so long to hit diamond because like we were so focused on ourselves and like how, like, this person's going to be my extra one. That's how I'm going to hit diamond. And she's so right. Like, we almost quit because that was the mindset that we had. And then we talked to Mindy and she kind of talked us off the cliff, and it was because we focused on other people and like how it was going to help them, and like how we could help them hit their diamond or hit their why or whatever.
And it was hard at first because we hadn't experienced the success yet. How is this going to help them? Because really it hadn't helped me yet. Mm-hmm. So we had to deal with that whole process and having faith that we could succeed like Mindy did. And watching Mindy grow, we used her story. Like, at that time, I think Mindy had her first $20,000 week. So we were using her success and going, if she's in a little podunk town in Upper Michigan, and if she can do it, she was bankrupt, living off food stamps. If she can do it, we can do it. You can do it. So if you don't have your own success story yet, use a success story of somebody else on the team, or, even in Team Go-Getters, Mindy's, or whoever's.
Mm-hmm. So. Definitely. So practice. And as you invite and you start using the stories, like, you are going to have your own story. So yeah, pretty cool. Number 7 is to partner up, because we know that inviting, whether it's to a free group, a paid challenge, or to coach, can be scary. I mean, it can give you a pit in the stomach and just make you want to turn off. And having a partner like we have, each other, it's really helped us. It's helped, not only with tracking, because it was like, all right, well, you're going to invite 3 and I'm going to invite 3 this week. I don't care if it goes well or not. That was our goal. We had to hit 3 a week each. And then, if something didn't go well, we had each other for support. We could talk it out and say, all right, well, maybe we need to change this approach, or maybe we need to send the bullet points versus a video. And let's not use Beachbody's video. Let's use this video. And we had that support, and, we could brainstorm off each other. And then it also offers that accountability. If I came to the table and I was like, well, I've had a really crappy week and this happened, I didn't hit my 3 and she's hit her 3, I'm going to feel like doo-doo. Like, it sucked, like when it would happen. So having that accountability really helps too. So partnering up just helps everything. And when we talk about partners, I know I want to mention just one other little thing. You know, you need to find somebody that really works for you. So partner up for 2 or 3 weeks and see how it goes. And then, you know, give yourself that ability to switch, because you need to have somebody like me and mom have each other, where you can call, you can text, you can message, and just, you know, work it out, set your hours. Like, you can message me between 8 and 5, and that's it. And just really, you know, be there for each other. Don't, you know, treat it like a formal engagement or anything like that.
No, and you have to develop that. I know with some of y'all are like strangers. You just met on Sweat Nation, but you're going to have to get over that. You're going to have to bond quickly for a couple of weeks to see how it's going to work. Because I know with me and Kaylee, we're texting back and forth, brainstorming. And it even, mother-daughter, it took us a while to go, you're going to have to stop texting me, Mom. I'm not in the right mind. I've got to take a break. And it would take me the same thing telling Kaylee, I'm done. I've closed the computer. If you're going to text me about something else other than work, that's cool, but don't text me about work. I can't deal with it right now. So you have to have that same kind of relationship with your partner. Y'all have to know each other's limits, and if you don't, then you have to feel open enough to tell your partner, I can't do this right now. And your partner has to be open to that as well. Mm-hmm. Just give each other time.
Yes. And this will help, like, we've heard from other coaches that we've done like mentorships with and masterminds. Like, this also can help your marriage, because you're not like sitting there like groaning and moaning to like your spouse. You're, you know, you have a partner to like, you know, discuss, and the partner can tell you to shut up, whereas your spouse, you know, you might not appreciate that very much. So definitely partner up. Now, part 2 of our slides is how to invite. And this goes into the nitty gritty of all of it. So the very first thing is to be passionate. You need to know your why, because it's going to be hard. You're going to get 8 to 9 no's probably every time. You know, the very best batter might only get 3, you know, hits, and he gets paid $4 million. So if you get to 3 out of 10, you are that $4 million kind of batter. So keep that in mind. You're going to need to know your why, though, because even if you're the superstar, you're getting 3 out of 10, you're getting 7 no's. So your why has to be enough to push you over that like fear and that scary, you know, feeling in your belly. Like, you have to know your why and know it's worth pushing, you know, past. For us, it was all about being able to quit our jobs. We like just were so tired and burnt out. And so that was our why. And then it was, you know, being able to have freedom and to be able to travel and to be able to have a disposable income and to build a house and to do these things. So know your why. The next thing is to share your story. And as she mentioned before, you aren't really, you know, feeling that success feeling yet. You know, use somebody else's story. You know, share something that you really can relate to and that, you know, you're excited about. And the last part is to create that excitement. Make sure that you're always staying excited, positive, confident, believing in yourself, and trusting the process. Slide number 2. So you have to be posting and adding people daily. And this is key, because if you aren't posting, people aren't going to get to know you. They're not going to know anything about you besides maybe your coach. And that can come off just one-sided. Like, you got to show your whole personality. And you have to be adding people. Otherwise, you're going to be doing all this work and inviting these people, and then you have no one to invite or no one to talk to. So you have to add people daily. We do have some. Go ahead.
Yeah, plant your seeds, Kaylee.
Yes, plant those seeds. So we have the content calendar, you know, on sweatnationtraining.com for you. So if you struggle with what to post, check it out. Don't feel like you have to do it exactly how we have it set up, but it is there. You can follow it exactly if you want. You know, use that to connect with people. So that kind of gives you a guide of what to post. We also have a calendar every month that tells you, hey, this is the best time to promote your free group. This is the best time to do your paid. We break it down for you. You can also add people on Facebook really easy. If you type in find friends in the search bar, it pulls up everybody that you might be friends with, you know, mutual friends in common. And you can just friend any of those people if they look like your ideal client and like who you'd want to work with. So that's, you know, 2 easy ways to kind of hit that, you know, step to inviting.
The cool thing about that one is when I'm really on it, like I've set a goal not to just do 3 to 5, but I'm doing 5 to 10 each day. I noticed that my name must pop up in other people's news feeds, like suggested friends, because not only am I friending more people, I'm starting to get more friend requests when I'm consistent with adding more people every day. So that's pretty cool. So it's like double bang for your buck. Mm-hmm. But anyway, sorry.
Why are you sorry? You've been adding good stuff. Number 3, once you started adding all these people, you also have people in your life. So you need to create a list of people. And Beachbody recommends starting with 100. So you have to make a list of 100 people that you know. There'll be a memory jogger in the notes from this call in Sweat Nation. And they'll also be on sweatnationtraining.com to kind of help you like brainstorm, because like you're not going to just have 100 people at the top of your mind. So use a memory jogger to help you create that list. And when you're going through this list, don't prejudge somebody. You know, everybody should go on your list. If somebody like had put me on their, like somebody might have avoided me because I knew, well, she has a marketing degree, she has a finance degree, and now she's teaching. Well, that must be her passion because she went through a whole lot of stuff before she got to be a teacher. You know, or, you know, she's too busy, or she only works out at home, or she only works out at the gym, or whatever. Like, don't prejudge somebody. Somebody could have prejudged us and we would have never had this opportunity. So you never know what's going through somebody's head. So don't prejudge. You're not looking for anybody that's even interested. You might approach somebody that you never thought in a million years would be interested, and it'll be the right time at the right moment, and they'll just kick butt and be your next diamond. So you're not looking for people that you already know are into health and fitness. It's great if they already are, but everybody goes on that list. You're just looking for someone that's qualified to work with you in your business. And if they have a computer and they are passionate about something, they are qualified to work with you in your business.
Totally agree.
So now in the how to start inviting, you just got to go for it. You got to start inviting. Think of yourself as a waiter or a waitress. A lot of us have probably waited tables. And you're just walking up to a table and you're asking like, hey, would you like any more coffee? Would you like me to, you know, top off your coffee? You know, take all the emotions out of it, because all you're doing is asking them like, would you like more coffee? If they say no, then it's not like they hate you and that you interrupted them and you bothered them. It's just they don't want any more coffee. Same thing with this. You can just ask somebody, hey, would you like to be a part of my free challenge? Or I have this free, premium challenge coming up, and it's a lot of fun. Would that be something you'd like? Or I think you make an awesome coach because. It's the same thing as asking somebody like, would you like more, you know, Diet Coke? Would you like more water? Just same thing. They either do or they don't, and that's totally okay. A waiter doesn't walk off crying, so you shouldn't either. Tough love, baby. So you'll have inviting in two different ways. You'll have sometimes that you are posting about it on Facebook, like just an invite to coach. We have our sneak peek coming up on Monday, so you'll be posting about the, you know, sneak peek coming up on Thursday and Sunday if you're following the content calendar. So you might be post it on Facebook on your personal page or your light page. And then you'll also have your private messages. So inviting to a, you know, a sneak peek or inviting someone to learn more about coaching as a post needs to include a few little things. So the first thing is we'd like to highlight a financial benefit that coaching has given you. And it might not be a $20,000 week, but it might be that you were able to, you know, buy groceries, or, you know, pay for gas on your vacation, or, you know, pay for the dog's grooming, or whatever it is, whatever financial benefit, maybe a new blender. Highlight that in your post, and that will create that value. It'll connect with somebody just like you that, you know, needs this. Also, you'll want to create urgency, like, hey, we only got 3 more spots, so make sure that you message me or make sure you comment tonight, because those 3 spots will fill up. And the next thing is to ask them to comment. So you're going to ask them like, hey, I only got 3 spots, so comment for more information, or comment to hold your spot. And then you can also ask for referrals right in that status. You know, maybe this isn't the right fit for them, but their daughter would love this, or their cousin would love this. So you can ask like, who would this be a good fit for? Or do you know anybody that, you know, would, you know, benefit from this? Tag them below. So that's how you can include post and inviting. And this will help if you've been adding your people and talking to people and posting. This will be so much easier. You'll start getting more comments because you have more people seeing your stuff.
The reason you have them comment below versus send you a private message or whatever, because I've seen some people do that. Have them comment below or tag somebody, because it helps your status stay up in the news feed. Yep. So, and it does something with engagement with Facebook.
Mm-hmm. It'll definitely help. And having them comment below also kind of like shows people like, hey, well, 5 people have already said, you know, they want info. So it kind of builds value just because they're seeing like social proof. They're seeing other people find this valuable, so they're going to find it more valuable.
And you would think, you know, well, I'm asking them if they want the chance, that they're just going to think, okay, I'm going to comment, I'm in, or give me some more info, Kim. But it's been proven, which I know my son-in-law picks on me when I say it's been proven scientifically, but it's been proven that you have to tell people what to do. Yes. You don't have to be ugly about it, but if you want them to comment, you have to tell them to comment. It's just like when you're on the phone with your girlfriend, call me. You've just told her to call you sometime. So make sure to always leave that. It's called a call to action on your post.
So that's how you can do a really great post, but a lot of invites are going to be by private messages. So I know you see these top coaches post, they might get like 20 people commenting, and then they go from there, and you think, oh, all 20 must have signed up, and that's why they're a top coach. Probably not. They probably had 2-3 people sign up from that 20 using the law of averages, and then they sent a lot of invites by private messages or PMs. So when you start private messaging someone to invite them to coach or whatever, you want to make sure that you keep it short. And I've just ran through 2 examples of inviting someone to coach, because I know that's where a lot of our people, have told us they struggle. So our team, that's what they kind of said that they wanted. So the very first one is just, have you ever thought about coaching? I think you'd be great at it. If you thought about it, it would be a good fit for you. And fill in the blank. Why would you be good at this? You're giving them a compliment. You're building them up already. If I sent you a few bullet points or a quick 18-minute video, could you let me know what you thought? So it's real simple, short, easy for them to, say yes or no. You're not throwing a whole lot of information at them all at once where they would just immediately push it to the side. The next one is, I'm looking for a few friends to become a coach alongside me. I thought of you because, so you tell them why. You're not just spamming. Would you be willing to take a look and tell me what you like about it? So you're not even pressuring them to sign up. You're just asking them, hey, will you just see if this would be a good fit? What do you like about this? Whatever. And again, it's not long. I get so many from It Works and other companies, and they're crazy long, and who has time for that?
And you can tell it's a script, copy paste.
Yeah, the fill in the blank, I think, always makes a big difference because you're personalizing it to each person.
Yep.
So those are 2 scripts, and these slides will be on sweatnationtraining.com as well if you want the scripts. And we'll have all 13 scripts on sweatnationtraining.com as well. 4 tips to inviting privately. So you're on these messages, mentioned before, to use a script and to customize it. Don't make it something long and gross that everybody can tell, hey, that's scripted. Keep it you, personalize it, keep it simple, short, sweet. You can also ask questions like, hey, how's it been going? You can throw in, if you saw a cute picture of them at the park, hey, how's, your daughter Emily doing? Is she doing, she's starting school in the fall, whatever. Make, small talk, ask questions, give compliments like, she's so cute, or, you look amazing after, your second baby, or whatever. Give compliments. And then you can also offer incentives. And this is something that we did really in the beginning to kind of build up our business. And then we've now kind of transitioned. So the incentives that we offer now are exclusive training. You're going to get access to our basic training, and it's perfect timing for our 21-day internship comes up, next month in April. It's just perfect. I can't wait to help you get signed up, and this is just the perfect time. So that's what we offer now. That's our incentive. Or, hey, I really hope you can join our sugar-free detox group because this is going to be amazing. You get your shopping list, you get your meals, everything's laid out for you, and we have so much fun in the group. So that's our incentives. But when we first started, we would do gifts, like a $10 hip hop abs or a fix-it cookbook or whatever. So, think about that. But if you do gifts, keep in mind that some people will just want to sign up for the gifts. So you might not be attracting the exact person that you want to work with. Yeah. So that's 4 tips. And you can also use different methods. There's people that are really great with words. There's great people that are on video. They just naturally say what they want, in person or on a video, text message, call, whatever works for you. So try different methods. This is all about practice, trial and error. So you might try Facebook status, private messages, Instagram posts, email, text message, and calling. So just figure out what works best for you. And it might depend on the relationship you have with that person. If you always talk by phone and then you message them, that might seem a little weird. So kind of play with your different methods when you go to invite. And then once you've invited them, you have to listen. So once you've invited, just take a deep breath. Remember, it's all about them, and just listen to what they have to say. What are they excited about? What kind of questions do they have? Can you kind of sense they have a concern somewhere? Do they have an objection? Think about what it is that they have said to you. And then, think about, all right, how can I not spew off the mouth here? How am I not going to have like diarrhea come out of my mouth? Like, I don't need to say everything. So you got to listen, keep it short and sweet when you reply. And then you send them the info. So they said, yes, you can practice on me. You know, send me something. Or, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds like a good fit. Go ahead and send it to me. And then you want to keep it brief. So if it's a free group, just let them know, like, hey, great, I'll add you on Monday. If it's a paid group, go ahead and send them the link and let them know the next step. So like, hey, here's the link to the 21-day fix. I know you're going to love it. You know, go ahead and order here. Make sure you have it 7 days before. So give them a deadline to order, and we'll open the group next Monday. And then if it's coaching, ask them to let you know what they liked about it. So you might send bullet points, which are on sweatnationtraining.com. They're also in the Sweat Nations folder and the files. You might send a video, like the 18-minute video we did on what is coaching, or you might add them to the sneak peek, which again, we have starting on Monday. So then you don't have to worry about any questions. You can just add them to the sneak peek and it's done. And then you can also finish with a question. My favorite, and Tara also uses it, is just, what did you like about this? So that way they're kind of forced to give you something positive versus something negative. I saw you writing something like a mad woman. So what were you?
Sorry, it was a text I had to respond to.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
What did I do?
I was trying to get done, and of course I was mistyping.
So those are just a few tips on what do you do after they say yes. Then after you send the information or you send them the video, they might have an objection. The number one objection that we get is money. So, hey, I totally understand. We were broke when we started. Can I just make a suggestion? Obviously, you want to get started. You need something to see if it's going to be the right fit for you. You got to make sure they're going to like it. So a couple of people that I'm working with that are in the same position as you, they're trying out the products and plugging into a challenge group. Would that be something that you would like? Everything has a money-back guarantee, and you can actually try Beachbody on demand for free for 30 days. So even if they say, well, I don't even have the money to get the refund, then they could try out Beachbody on demand for 30 days and really not have any excuse not to try it unless they just really don't want to be a part of it. Another one that you could say is, I totally understand. We were broke when we started. Did you know you can have everything refunded, including the $39.95, which is the sign-up fee, after 30 days if coaching wasn't a good fit for you? And a lot of people will do this because if they are struggling with money, if they can make coaching work in the first month or first 2 months and just see it pay off a little bit, then that's going to give them what they needed. That's going to help them get that momentum going. I must skip over that one because I didn't finish it. It doesn't look right. And then after you've hit all of their objections or you've sent them the information and it's just crickets, you got to follow up. And a follow-up is not pushy. I don't know why people automatically think that, because follow-ups actually show somebody that you care. It's no longer about like, what can you get from them in their head? It's now like, hey, well, she knows that I'm probably not going to sign up, or she knows I didn't reply and she's still taking the time to ask me something. She's still taking the time to care about me. So make sure that you follow up because it shows that you care about that person. So I've given you 2 examples here. These are also on sweatnationtraining.com. Just thanks for going through the sneak peek. Was it helpful? We offer basic and advanced training and our mentorship to help you get started and continue to grow your business. So that's like a little incentive there. Was coaching something that sounded like a good fit? Do you have any goals in mind you'd like to accomplish? So that way you get the conversation, to keep going. Another one is just, did you have any questions about coaching? Our basic training is starting soon. There's that urgency. And it'll be perfect timing to get it done and be ready for the 21-day internship that starts soon. So there's an urgency again. Would this be something that you'd like? I really think it could get you started towards your goals really well. So if you already talked about goals, you can throw that one in there. And if you're still scared and you're like, oh my gosh, this call has been longer than I wanted and I still don't know what I'm doing, start small. So the first week, kind of make yourself invite to a free group. Because if they aren't willing to join a free group, then there's something just not right about that person. Not screwed up or anything, but just they are not in the right mindset to join anything if they aren't willing to join a free group, because there's all that value and nothing really required of them. So just invite to a free group. If they say no, it's totally their loss and you can totally feel that because all you did was offer value. Week 2, you'll start inviting to a paid group. And yes, that has a little money involved, a little investment. So that's going to help build up, the invites and kind of build your confidence. And then week 3, you would start inviting to coaching. And this follows the calendar system as well. And then in week 4, you could start mixing it together. You can aim for 2 invites to a paid group, or just messaging somebody, sharing about a product with somebody, and then 3 to 5 invites to coach. And that way you're actually, expanding your network every single week. Because if you're getting 3 to 5 invites to coach each week, you're going to be adding coaches every single month and growing your team. So that's your strategy if you're still scared. And then we do have some resources for you. Our resources include, besides your training, we have the calendar system, which has your content and kind of how to break down everything. We also have free group templates. We have a healthy family meal, a simple slim down, sugar detox, eat like a fitness competitor template, all of those things all on sweatnationtraining.com. There's also scripts. So there's stuff on there to help you invite to a free group, a paid group, and a coach. If somebody does sign up to coach, we also have training for them. So you don't have to create your own. You can just go to sweatnationtraining.com. The password is SweatNation. Add them to the basic training and add them to the SweatNation Facebook group. And then there's also 2 links to a memory jogger, which I'll post both of those in SweatNation and on SweatNation Training. That way you have access to them. But definitely create your list, because that's how we're going to start building, our invites. So I'm going to switch back over and let Mom wrap up. And any questions? God, y'all look bored. Sorry. Huh? I just slipped back where I could see everybody's faces. And I'm like, I hope not everybody's bored.
No.
Yeah. I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh, wait a minute. She's back on.
Yeah.
Well, I would just, for my wrap up, important things that I would remember is you have to remember your why, because there will be days that even though everything we've told you, you're going to get your no's, sometimes those no's are going to hurt, even though they're not supposed to. So keep in mind your why. And there's going to be days when you've invited 20 people and not one said yes. So the law of averages is not working out, but the next day you might get 4 people. So it's really important. I can't stress that enough, that you have to know, if I stay consistent, this will work. This system will work. It's worked for other coaches before me. It's going to work for me as well. You have to have that confidence and that belief. If you don't, I can't stress this enough. You have to do personal development every day. If your weakness is confidence, then pick out books that are going to help you with your confidence. If your weakness is reaching out to new people, then research books about networking. So every single day, that is not something you can put on the very bottom of your list. To me, it is at the very top. I have to do personal development every day because even though we're successful, I'm still an insecure person. I'm getting a whole lot better at it, as Kaylee can tell you, but that's just part of my personality. So I work on confidence books and leadership books. So you have to do it every single day. The personal development I listened to today was, if you're not learning, you're not leading. You have to learn every day. So make that a goal. Sorry. I said sorry again. See? All right, Kaylee.
Personal development, sweetie.
I know. All right.
So any questions? I know inviting is always the hardest, or a lot of the times it's the hardest. So somebody asked, is the content calendar for both your light page and your personal page, or do you mix it up? And what we do is we use it the same way. So, I think it runs about a day behind, but we follow it exactly how it's set up. And then like personal page, it'll be the day of, and then we'll schedule it the next day for your light page. And it's because not everybody is going to see it on your personal page or on your light page. So you're getting a different audience each time. So you can use the same content over again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Couple questions. One of the things is I read, and I'm not sure what coach it came from, but I thought it was a really good idea. I have this whiteboard that when I'm getting dressed, I see it, and I have my calendar, and I got my all the coaches that I have, and so it's one of the things I read was that just simple, like a simple statement, and start it every week. Just say, ever since I became a coach, and then you can finish it with something like, and I have done this where, I thought my fitness level increased considerably. Like just helping others, you just can't believe what you can, what it'll do with your fitness level. Or ever since I became a coach, personal development has gone like out of the roof. And I thought I knew some things, but now I really learned a lot about myself. Or I've been able to help ever since I became a coach. I've been able to help people in a bigger way than I ever thought. So my goal has been, and I have not done as well at this, I know there's a couple weeks I've missed, is just to make a statement every week on that. But I think that's pretty easy. Like, we can really come up with some statements about ever since I became a coach. And it's just putting it out there. It's not like this salesy thing. So I think I really liked that idea.
I love that idea. Sorry. Yeah. I can say now, ever since I became a coach, I've improved my personal development.
Exactly.
But go ahead, Teresa. Sorry.
No, then the other thing I was going to ask you is actually, a lot of people ask, since you're my coach, is then kind of how it happened for you. So I always say that you guys were teachers, and really you are a success story, because Kim, was it after your first year that you were able to quit? How long was it before you were able to quit teaching?
It was first year that we became serious. Yes. We signed up 2011. We became serious in 2012, and I quit the end of 2012.
Okay. So when you first started, of course, family and friends, are the ones that we go to at the very beginning. But can you remember, I'm just curious, your first year, where you really started to branch out? Was it that you were doing a lot of personal messaging? Were you running ads? How did you really expand that first year?
For both of us, it was Facebook, because our family and friends, they were non-supportive.
Okay.
Well, my family was, like my mom and dad, but they were hesitant. They wouldn't ever tell me, this is not going to work. They knew better than to tell their daughter that. Now, my husband was like, you've worked 20 hours this week and you've only made a penny an hour. This is ridiculous. Right. How long are you going to stick with this? My friends at school would say, my cousin did this and, he did all right, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of recruiting. And I just, good luck with it. Mm-hmm. So I got tired of that. So I went to Facebook with people I didn't have to see judge me face to face. And that way I could be more brave. So I'd say we branched out. I did mostly with Facebook. There was no such thing as ads then. So it was all private messaging, going to groups, which you really don't go. It's harder to do groups now, but we did a whole bunch of groups and meeting people through different groups on Facebook. Yeah. So, and Twitter. Believe it or not, Twitter was the thing.
Yeah, that's how we met Mindy, was Twitter. So I guess it just depends on what social media is hot then. Like, you can meet a lot of people on Instagram or YouTube now, or Facebook.
We've seen a lot of coaches do Snapchat.
Yeah.
This this last 2 weeks.
And I'm sorry, now it's the third question, but when I don't have a problem adding people, where I know I fall short is that I am not going back and messaging each one of those people. Did you guys do that? Every time you added people, were you going back and saying in a few days, hey, thanks for accepting my friend request, blah, blah, blah?
Well, I know for me, and I'll let Mom share too, but a lot of the times when we were friending people, it was in a group or even going to like a like page back then. And, like if they were on Toscarino's Eat Clean page. So I had to message them. Otherwise it just seemed like a complete freak. Like there was no mutual friends, or we weren't using it. And so it'd be like, hey, Teresa, I saw that you like Toscarino too. Are you following the Eat Clean diet? I just started on Monday. And a lot of coaches did that. So now that probably wouldn't work because so many people have done it and the whole filtered messages and stuff. But back then we had to. And now we don't really message everybody personally, but we will comment on their statuses. Like I have a new friend I may know list on Facebook. And then just for 5 minutes each day, I'll pull it up and I'll just start liking and commenting and stuff.
Yeah, that's my answer. We had to that was so hard, Teresa, for me. Like Kaylee would come home after I quit work. So I had managed to get up to where I could quit, and she'd come home from teaching. Well, did you talk to 3 to 5 new people? And I'm like, oh, not yet. I just don't want to message anybody because I don't know these people.
Right.
But I would even go to something like Victoria's Secret page because they had sporting bras and stuff. So I'd find people there and I'd message them. Oh, I like that bra too. What workout do you do? And so, yeah, we just made ourselves do it.
Yeah,
we were very determined.
It was cold calls all the way. And I still think that we cold call now because all friend people, I went to UTC for a year. And so now, like, I don't message them, which I probably should. So learn from me or act, do as I, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll comment and like, I'll write something about like 80 Pi or Chattanooga or something. And they don't know me, but I'm just throwing it out there and asking a question. So it's still kind of cold calling.
But the cool thing about making sure that you post every day, some of these people that you haven't commented or private messages, but you've friended, eventually they come around and they'll private message you, or they'll even comment on something and say, I really appreciate all your inspirational posts. And you're like, wow, somebody is actually watching.
Yes.
So don't ever like downplay your post, because they're reaching way more people than even we realize. So, yeah. And if somebody comments, I always try to make a comment back. I don't try to ignore. So they usually like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks for all the questions.
Yeah.
That was back in the, rock ages of coaching. That's for challenge groups even.
Yeah. We were super excited over those packs.
We started doing challenges by email drip before challenges were even a thing. So.
Wait, you did?
Yeah.
Wow.
We did our first Hot by Halloween, and it was through MailChimp, which I don't recommend anymore because they will close you down for being an MLM. But we had a few of our friends, actually most of them were friends, sign up to do various programs. And instead of a Facebook group, we would send out an automated email. This is day one. How did you do? And we give them a tip of the day. In fact, I think we were using Shalene's push, weren't we, Kaylee?
Yep.
And then I got this bright idea and I shared it with Mindy. I'm like, you know what? We got to create a group on Facebook for our challenges. And I'm sure I wasn't the only coach thinking of that. But all of a sudden, all these groups started popping up for challenges. And then the challenge pack bloomed. So,
I have a question. I'm finding that a lot of people that I envision being good coaches or clients I want to work with, they are already exposed to Beachbody and have a coach. So I, of course, don't want to step on anyone's toes. One girl I actually was talking to last week, she's one of my college friends, and she just had a baby, and she's starting the 21-day fix again since having her baby. And I asked her if she was working with the coach. She said that she has a coach that she's been with for several years, but she's not really liking her stuff anymore. But she just started a challenge with her. Yet this friend continued to ask me questions because she knows I did the 21-day fix right after having my daughter. So I'm really at a tough spot of like, how do I deal with that situation? And I feel like I keep running into it over and over again.
well, this one is tough because you have to do it by each situation. If they are working with their coach and their coach is active, then you have to kind of like, I don't want to offend your coach. You really need to be asking her these questions. Of course, I'm your friend. I'm going to support you. So I'll continue to do that. But your coach would probably appreciate hearing these questions. It'll keep her accountable, and it'll help her to help you between that coach and client relationship. I would rather us just stay friends since, I'm not your coach. I don't want to fill that position since it's already been filled by somebody else.
Yeah.
But that is an awkward conversation to have. Now, if you have somebody who has a very inactive coach, that once again is like just so, you have to make sure that their coach is not active. Their coach is not active. They've reached out to not only that coach, but maybe the coach above them, and nobody is helping them. Nobody's giving support. Then you can say, you can switch to me. But that would be like the last thing, because we don't ever want to, still a client from another coach.
Yeah. And when I worked in commercial gyms, that was etiquette that we had as personal trainers. We don't want to steal each other's clients, and we always refer the client back to their trainer. it's just so hard to tell online because you're not seeing that interaction. So, okay. And that's what I told her. I told her, you know, I'm happy to answer those few questions, but, you know, reach out to her coach and see if her coach knows that stuff too.
Yeah, because her coach, I'm sure she's working and she's holding challenges. I'm sure she would be happy to answer the questions. And that could be a good test, you know. So maybe her coach is hosting a challenge, but she's not willing to answer her client's questions.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a good little test. How active is this coach? If your friend comes back and says, well, I've asked her this question and I've given her 3 days to reply and she hasn't, then you could make a suggestion of switching.
All right. The other thing I wanted to ask, because I think, I'm trying to remember, Kaylee, I think I came across you actually through the forums on Team Beachbody. Do you guys find clients there at all? I mean, again, those are going to be people who have coaches. I know for me, I had a randomly assigned coach who never reached out to me. And I think she was really inactive. I think I was just a part of the leads program or something. But I found Kaylee on the forums and I really liked the SoaryFitness.com and switched over. But is that something that you guys do? Are you active on the forums to connect with people? Is that somewhere we should be, or just kind of leave that? Because that's an area that I have not been on really.
Yeah. When we first started, which was 2012, was when we really started hitting and, you know, like trying to grow our network, the forums weren't taken over at all. Like if y'all have ever been on teambeachbody.com, there's a message board and everybody on there did have an account and had been assigned a coach, but there wasn't many coaches answering any of the questions there. And so it wasn't, you know, very competitive. It wasn't anything really. It was just like, hey, this person needs help. So I'd message them, help them. And then, you know, like, hey, if you need anything, just holler or whatever. And we met a lot of good people on the boards, like you. And now it's just so many coaches are already on there. Like they figured out that like, hey, that was a good spot. And we actually went back a year later, like in 2013, and tried to start using them again. And, you know, kind of the same mentality. Like if you're not working with somebody, we would love to help. Just give me a shout. And it was not as good. Like there's way too many coaches on there now. So I think it's I think a message board is really good because people are asking questions and you're able to really like give feedback quickly. But I wouldn't use the Team Beachbody one, maybe a at-home workout one, or Kathy Friedrich, Toscarino, any of those people that have a message board. It would be a great place to meet people, but not Team Beachbody anymore. Too many people.
Okay.
They get ugly. If they even suspect that you are like willing to help somebody who's not getting help, they will bite your head off in a heartbeat. The other coaches who are on the forums, like it's a whole little clique that just stays on that forum, kind of guarding it. That's all they have to do all day. So, no, it wasn't worth it.
Okay.
Not to talk ugly about them, but they're mean.
But message boards are good. Like I even have noticed like on the blogs I can track to see like where clicks come from, and a lot of the times they'll come from message boards. So if you can find one that's good, it's definitely a good place to meet people.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I did. I was just wondering, like, when you're just starting out and you're, it's Chanel, by the way. When you're just starting out and you're, you haven't really built rapport with it, like you're just starting to build rapport, how do you start inviting people to coach? Like, is that just something that you just do maybe as opposed to private messaging, or do you do a bit of both, or?
I think it's both.
Haven't really built any relationships yet?
For us, it was both, and some of it is just, especially when you're first getting started, it feels like awkward and kind of. But it does get easier, especially as you build those relationships. And I know it's so funny because we had one of our first ever coaches. We met him on Twitter. He was doing like Insanity, I think, and he signed up with us. Like we just asked him. We had followed his tweets back and forth, and we asked him to coach, and he signed up. He was like our third coach, and then he quit and like didn't tell us or anything. And now he just signed back up like last month. So like, even if you have somebody tell you no, and like, it feels really weird, they can come back. That's crazy. But I would say it's a mix. I think posting every day and kind of getting to know people makes a big difference. And then, you know, when you do see them post something on their Facebook, maybe they need a new job, or, you know, they're wanting to travel, or they post a picture of their sweaty selfie, I think it's totally okay to message them, because it's not going to hurt anything. So even if it's just somebody you don't even know, you friended them because you're mutual friends, and they post a workout picture, I would go ahead and message them and just see how they feel about it. You know, like, hey, you know, have you ever thought about doing this? I thought you'd be great at it because of your workout picture, or whatever. So I think it's a mix, because you're never going to really get to where you're wanting to be and feel comfortable and have all those relationships if you're not willing to kind of start it, you know, when it feels kind of weird.
I think it, like Kaylee said, it's a mix of both. You have to just see where the person is following their post and what you've talked to with them. Like, you might see that recently she lost her job, and you might could broach that. Like, if you've been watching her long enough and maybe you've been commenting, you might say, well, you know, I know it really sucks right now and this might not be a good time, but it really helped me earn some extra money. Would you want to hear about this opportunity? So I guess it all just depends on the person. So sorry, I'm gonna move to the bedroom because your daddy just got home. Ooh, that sounded naughty, didn't it, y'all? The bedroom just got home. Sorry.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions? Wendy?
I had the same, I had the same basic thing to say. You know, I've been trying to do this level 3 religiously every week. I have friended so many people. I have no idea who all these people are. I'm afraid when I'm walking around the grocery store, because I'm thinking, I don't know, are these some of the people? But when I was making my list of 500 people for the group that we're doing, I was really surprised at how many people of those random friends had joined a free thing or had, were liking my stuff. So, but I like, in me thinking about sending, say 40 invitations tonight.
Wendy's in our like hustle group, so we're trying out a hustle.
I'm having a panic.
Yeah.
Because I can't have any wine because of stupid Tony Horton. I'm kidding. I'm just really, I'm having a hard time thinking, how am I just going to jump into this when I don't even know these people, and I don't know if I've commented on all their stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I'll tell you a really quick way to do it.
Okay.
It's real easy.
Okay.
Stop thinking. Just do it.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yep.
Just do it.
Okay.
The worst thing that's going to come back is going to go, absolute worst thing that's going to come back is going to go unfriend and block you.
Okay.
But really,
now you have an extra spot, because as I get closer to 5,000, I'm going, if I don't like her post, unfriend. Like, because they're random people, and so if they block me, it's just more friend.
that's seriously what I had to do, Wendy. Like, I seriously had to just not think when Kaylee would come home, did you message 3 to 5 people? Because it was as cold, if not colder, than what you're talking about. I'm messaging people I found on the Victoria's Secret like page, okay? And so you just have to turn the brain off. Yeah. And I promise, once you do it enough, you won't care. You'll copy, paste. So just do it. Don't think. Nothing's going to happen. Nobody's going to come to your house and go, you're a horrible person, because you're not a horrible person.
So, and I think remember that like, while like we had a girl come up to us at Target, and like literally it was like what you're talking about. Like we were like, oh my gosh. And she's like, yeah, I'm Kaylee. And I was just, we both were just like, oh crap, like who is this person? And it was somebody off Facebook and been in one of our groups. And, we had been talking back and forth, and we just had no clue. She didn't look like her profile picture. And it was just like, holy crap, this is terrible. But like we lived through it, and she's still our friend. But just remember that like, while they're kind of like somebody in your challenge that's one of 100, you are their, fitness friend. So like they might know you better. They might have stalked your page and watched your post a lot more than what you've watched their post, because you're one person versus your 1,000 friends.
Okay.
So they might feel like they know you better than how you know them.
Yeah, I have to remember that too. Yeah.
All right.
It's like teaching. I didn't know every student at Wilson Central High School, but a lot of the students knew me. So, you know, you had to be on your best behavior while you're walking around the Kroger, because one of the kids in there might have been a student at the school you taught at and you didn't know. Same thing. A lot of people are going to know you versus you know everybody.
Okay.
So just go in and don't think about it. You're not doing anything wrong. Okay?
All right.
You could change somebody's life. You could take them out of bankruptcy like us. Just think about that.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
And just rip the Band-Aid off, like Ricky said. Just do it, copy paste, get it out of the way. Worst thing that they're going to do is say no, and then you'll be in the exact same spot that you were before you asked them.
Yep.
Okay.
Somebody asked on chat, Cynthia, speaking of Story Fitness, when do you recommend creating your own blog? For me, I found you guys through Google and signed up then. I just think it's another resource to gain coaches and clients. You are absolutely right. It is a good way to gain coaches and clients. For us, it took about a year for it to really start showing up onto Google and to like learn, you know, our routine and to fit in the blog. It takes about, for our traffic now, it takes about $300 a quarter, right, Mom? Is it quarter? To maintain the website, which we make up for when we have clients and coaches and launches for new programs like Country Heat. We'll get a good amount of traffic from that. So it does pay off, but it does cost a little bit. And I would recommend starting your blog if you are working full-time. I would say, you know, at minimum when you hit diamond. If you are not, you know, like if you're coaching full-time, I would wait until you had at least 4 coaches and you felt comfortable inviting, because that's still like our bread and butter. The blog is a lot of fun. We did start it right when we started coaching because it was something that I wanted to do. Like I've had a website or a blog since I was about 10. We had spunkchick.com or spunk cakes or something. So I always had something going. But for average, I would say diamond, or until you have 4 plus coaches and feel comfortable inviting, because we still invite people every single day, you know, on Facebook or on Instagram.
I would add, you need to be consistent and comfortable before you do a blog. Like, you know, if you just signed up to coach, you're overwhelmed. So you're going to have to find your groove first before thinking about introducing something else to your list. So have found your groove, be really comfortable, and then where you can add something else to your list.
And have the time. Even now, like the blog is, 4 years old. It still takes me about an hour to write a good post and to be able to like put it on Pinterest and to make sure that the SEO is correct and all of that stuff. So it still takes me an hour to make a good blog post even this far in.
And she has been consistent. So in order to have a successful blog, you have, just like with coaching, she had to be consistent with it. She wasn't just putting a blog post up every other month or whatever. It's something that she had to work consistently in order for her blog to get up in the Google feed. So you're going to have to be consistent.
And can I just say that really has been the magic for you guys, I know, is that you've got that we've been consistent, clearly, and of course that's what's brought it I feel like in the company, you guys probably are the best as far as it goes with the blogging and so on. So, and that's been something for me because it's so crazy busy that my dream is I want to blog and I want to have the time to do it. I'm spread so thin, but that is my goal and I'm working towards that. I have most of it done. I wanted to ask you about the section like with clean eating. I'm not much of a cook though. My husband is, and he's going to work with me on this. But when you first started doing that section, I'm just thinking about putting on like some of my favorite things. Is that what you started with, or?
Yeah, definitely favorite things. 21-day fix recipes, if you can come up with any, do really great on Google and on Pinterest. And meal plans. Like that was where I started, was with meal plans, because I'm not a cook. I don't like taking pictures of my food really. And when I did take pictures, we even took a photography class and I still sucked at it. So hybrids, like Mom just wrote, mix into workouts, sharing that kind of stuff where you don't have to do a whole lot of pictures helped me when we first got started. The meal plans, I would just like get like a stock picture from Canva and write kind of like 2-week meal plan, eat clean or something. And that helped build up that section.
Well, that's where I'm stuck is I like the pictures of food and so on, but it's the clean eating menu. It's like, for some reason, it's such a,
you can hire it out.
What?
You can hire it out. Like
that's that message, that's what I will do. I will pay to get a clean eating menu. So
yeah,
but I just haven't found out exactly where.
Look in Facebook groups. Girls Gone Sporty is really good. Sweat Pink Ambassadors. Both of those groups are really good to ask people just like, and I just post like, hey, I'm looking for a meal plan that's 5 days long, that's 1,200 calories, or made for people that have gout or paleo. And so that's how they kind of base it off of.
And you posted that where?
And either Sweat Pink Ambassadors or Girls Gone Sporty. Those are the two that I've used. There's Fitfluential Food. That's another one. Anything Fitfluential is a good one. I'll put it in the chat so you can see it, like what it looks like.
Okay.
But there's like, they have a ton of groups. Like if you just look up Fitfluential,
okay,
they have a lot. And a lot of them are trainers or they are certified nutritionists. You can also look up blogs, like you can Google Eat Clean Meal Plans, and then you can message that blogger.
On Pinterest, you know how a lot of people will post for like 21-day fix meal plans.
Yeah.
You think that would be something that would be viable to do, like email somebody on the?
I would say like the Eat Clean, Paleo, Whole30 would be easier because those people probably aren't coaches. But if you can find a coach that's willing to make you a 21-day fix recipe or meal plan, then I would pay them to do that. It might just be harder because that might be like a conflict of their interest.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and make sure it's all original content. And that goes for anything. If y'all are blogging, do not accept duplicated content. Don't post your content, like everywhere. You want to make sure everything's original on your site.
Okay.
Just a little tidbit. All right. I think our diamond call is about to start, but does anybody else have any questions?
Well, if you do, post them on the thread where we'll put the recording.
Yep. And the recording will probably go up tomorrow because it's a long recording. I've left all the questions on here, so it'll probably take a while for it to pop up.